Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a game between Evil Genius's Thorzane and Slivko here on Cloud Kingdom. Thorzane has spawned as the red Terran player on the bottom left hand side of the map. Meanwhile, Slivko has spawned as the light blue Zerg player on the top right hand side of the map. Cloud Kingdom, Terran versus Zerg should be a very interesting matchup as both of these players are very familiar with the map, a BattleNet ladder map, and also a map that's been part of many tournaments for quite a while now. We see Thorzane should be setting up a supply depot here in just a moment. Thorzane normally likes to build his supply depots close to his command center. That will allow him to go for get back to mining a little bit faster as we see that supply depot now being placed down. Meanwhile, we'll see what Slivko will be doing. The faster Overlord movement speed has allowed Zerg players to really scout out any proxy barracks play, which it does look like Thorzane is doing. This one SCV has made a really interesting turn, and it looks like it will be able to get just out of the sight range of this one particular Overlord. A second SCV also coming in as well, so it looks like Thorzane will be doing a double racks pressure, and there is that first barracks already being established. But what is this? Slivko may just by the luck of an Overlord find this barracks, and yes, he does. One barracks has already been spotted, and is he actually going to reveal to his opponent that he spots this? No, he is not. And this is a beautiful mind game. The fact that Slivko knows that there is proxy barracks here, and Thorzane still believes that he has gone away with almost bloody murder. We'll see what's going to be happening here in just a moment. One drone now coming in, a second drone now coming in, as the SCVs are going to be battling it out, and double barracks are canceled. So Slivko forces the cancellation there, and what is Thorzane going to do? Thorzane's going to follow this up with most likely a quick command center. A quick command center. It will be slightly delayed compared to the hatchery off over here, but it's only about 35 seconds as we also see a spawning pool come in as well by Slivko. So Slivko with some very nice and a little bit of luck able to stop a 2 racks pressure. As the games do get underway, we shouldn't see any action now until about the 5-minute mark. Now, it's important to note what Thorzane is going to try to do. Thorzane is a bit behind as he is getting a little bit of a delay on his command center here. You can see that he lost some resources when he was forced to cancel those barracks. Another thing to note is that his orbital command will be significantly delayed because he lost a lot of timing on those barracks. Right now, the hatchery of Slivko is already completed. So is that spawning pool, and we are now going to be going into double queens on 2 hatcheries. Slivko should be sitting gasless for quite some time as he really wants to saturate the mineral patches that he has. This is where Zerg can explode and get a very large economy very quickly, as the production of Zerg off of each hatchery does allow for about 10 drones every game minute. Zerglings now making their way out, orbital commands now being upgraded off over here. You can see the triple barracks front door making sure that the Marines will be able to attack at any Zerglings, while the Zerglings, if the Zerglings do try and engage against this barracks here. Now, so far, no one has established any gas as of yet. It feels like Thorzane knows that his opponent is going very heavy economy, and it's going to force Thorzane to do the same thing as well. What I want to see is whether or not Thorzane builds a 3rd command center, perhaps here, and upgrades it to an orbital for faster SCV training and eventual liftoff and landing at this 3rd base location. Marines are making that trek back. So far, Slivko has only established up 1 extractor. More drones are still being added. Let's take a look at the harvester count. It is 29 drones, 33 drones now compared to 22. A huge discrepancy as we are still seeing both sides play the macro game. So far, there are currently, I believe, 4 queens on the field. Yes, 2 queens per hatchery, and Slivko will be able to lay down these creep tumors very quickly as he looks to establish up this 3rd base. Meanwhile, it looks as though Thorzane is doing the same thing as well. He's establishing up another command center inside his own base. He will be able to saturate and train up SCVs as we now see him finally take 2 gas at the 6-minute 40-second mark. Marines are doing a little bit of a trek around. They were able to force a cancellation on that hatchery off over here. So it does look like Slivko will be a bit behind, especially if Thorzane is able to upgrade this to an orbital command and also train some additional SCVs off of it, as the Marines are once again going to come in. And Slivko, is he paying attention? Yes, he is. Loses another hatchery, or forces a cancellation on another hatchery there, and also loses that drone. So 125 resources were lost there. Marines now holding the Xel'Naga tower. Thorzane still applying pressure while he is getting a very, very strong economy going, and this is very important. He has also begun the arms race with these double engineering bays. We also see that double evolution chambers, I believe, were down by Slivko. Yes, down over here, but we have not seen any upgrades come in yet. Zerglings now perhaps going to try to test the waters. Will be able to shoot down or shut down that one Marine holding that Xel'Naga tower there, as the Zerglings look to scout out and see if the third base was taken. Not quite yet, but Slivko does need to establish up this hatchery, and in a hurry. This supply advantage, 53 drones compared to 39 SCVs, won't hold for very long, especially as these units from the Terran will be moving out momentarily. Double tech labs now being added, stim pack on the front door. We are currently running off of only 4 barracks right now, which is rather low. And we'll see whether or not we will be getting some more factories and some siege tanks. Starport now being added as well, so this could be your standard siege tanks, Marines, Marauders with medevacs as they try to move and establish some map control. Alright, it looks like Slivko is looking to suicide an Overlord. No, he is not, deciding to pull away. And Slivko is currently just playing in the dark. It seems like he knows when the Marines are moving out, but he doesn't know much of anything else. Zerglings is now trying to sneak their way in, and wow, Slivko catching it when the garage door was open. SCVs now running away as the Zerglings are going to be able to get a full scout inside. They may not deal a lot of damage, but it is going to hamper a lot of the mining and also a full scouting information inside this base. The Marines are now able to finally make their way inside. How much damage can be dealt as the Overlord is still spewing creep off over there. Zerglings getting in some easy attacks onto some SCVs. How many workers were killed? 7 workers lost. But more importantly, a lot of scouting information as a new round of Zerglings looking to try and take down a siege tank. No, unable to do so as the Marines do arrive. Alright, the Zerglings getting off some easy shots on a barracks. No mining going on here. And what is the income looking like? 600 versus 1500. Slivko now taking a very good lead as he is going to delay any expansion attempt here because of that creep. And Thorzane is now down by 30 supply. Currently, Slivko, his income sitting at about, what, 1,600. There are perhaps a lot of mules being utilized, showcasing Thorzane's the elasticity of the Terran economy, being able to get back more minerals. Zerglings and Banelings are trying to get in position. Unfortunately, Slivko does not have that Baneling movement speed just quite yet. He does have an Infestor with fungal growth, though, and this could be huge. Oh, the Infestor, yes, gets taken down, and that is bad news. Banelings unable to find their target. 1 or 2 of those siege tanks now taken down as the Zerglings look to try and corral a beautiful Baneling hit as we see that stutter step being utilized. But it looks like Thorzane absolutely just getting caught off guard every which way. That Infestor, if it did land that fungal growth, would have been much more damage for Slivko. And Slivko would not have lost nearly as much there. Always very sad to see an expensive caster unit go down without casting a single spell. Thorzane now down by about 50 supply. He will have to really work some magic in order to get into the mid part of the game at least even. He's trying to keep it close right now, trying to choose his engagements wisely. He has not been able to do that. And Slivko, if he does start his tech to tier 3, we are going to see Broodlords. Hive and Aspire being built nearly simultaneously does indicate Broodlords, as they both take 100 seconds in order to build and upgrade. Let's take a look at this. Evolution Chamber now starting 2-2 upgrades. Thorzane now also building up double command centers inside his own base for perhaps some more mules. So far, the production tab showing 5 Marines, 1 Siege Tank, Siege Tech, now also being researched as Slivko. Is he going to try to do a Baneling bust on this one base? Thorzane with so many mules and his economy now simply through the roof, even though he is currently behind. Let's go ahead. Let's see what's going to be happening here. All of these mules giving him a strong mineral count. He's floating on about 1,500 resources, trying to keep that low, and he is building more and more command centers to do exactly that. You see another command center now being placed down here, as this command center will most likely upgrade to be a planetary fortress. Greater Spire now coming in. One medevac has spotted that this hatchery has been taken, as a drone will get shot down there, revealing this group of Marines. Zerglings now going to make their way over. Poor medevac. There's that fungal growth. Queen now getting in some easy snipes, as a fungal growth does take down the medevac. And is the Queen going to be able to survive? Yes, she will, as the Marines will all get taken down. Meanwhile, you can see that this one command center is upgrading. Nope, Slivko does not spot this here. What a pitiful mistake, not being able to actually see that this is going to be a planetary fortress. The Zerglings could at least try and stop it at this point before the Marines and the siege tanks got in position. Alright, Slivko perhaps more suspecting that there will be a continual attack on his base, playing defensively, as now Slivko takes up his 5th base in the top left-hand side of the map. Alright, planetary fortress already upgraded. That additional +2 building armor, so difficult to deal with for Zerglings. We are going into some corruptors. The Greater Spire now about to be completed here, and the key question will be the number of Vikings. Viking count only sitting at 2. Income now showing Zerg much higher, as the Zerglings are unable to place any pressure here. Siege tanks getting off some easy kills, as they are going to be backing off. Siege tanks do have 1-0 upgrades, meaning that they are able to one-shot a Zergling even with 2 armor. Sensor tower now reveals Zerglings and Banelings hiding off over here, and that means Marines will perhaps just come in and finish it off. Here you go, siege tank blast. Zerglings now backing away once more, and Thorzane now only about 50 supply down, 55 supply down. Will it be enough, as the Banelings are maybe able to, yes, both get killed. One does get taken down, as the Zerglings perhaps going to finish off the rest of the Marines. The Marines, are they winning in the upgrade wars? I believe they are even, but with the help of 4 medevacs, that Marine is able to hold on to that location there. Slivko now also expanding into this location. This is actually not a good location for most Zerg players, but then again, he's double expanding here as well. Slivko expanding both at the 3 and 9 o'clock position, very opposite ends of the map, and if Thorzane tries to deal with one, he may not be able to deal with the other. However, what is this? We see a Corvid reactor with Ravens, and that means that we could see a whole bunch of auto turrets or perhaps even Seeker missiles. 3-3 upgrades now coming in. Greater Spire has been completed. A 2nd Spire for upgrades being added, as Zerg Carapace now being researched. It looks as though 0-0 upgrades, and this is a Corruptor Infestor Broodlord army. A very expensive, rather low supply army here, as we are now seeing the units move out. Alright, this expansion looks like it will be taken. Marines looking to perhaps shut this down are going to come to a very rude awakening, as the Corruptor is going to take down the medevacs. There is some corruption, and the Marines are not going to be able to finish off this hatchery at all. Wow, the Broodlords are already out. Production tab now shows weapons and ship weapons and armor upgrades coming in. Quad training of Vikings. Ravens now being added once more, as we see Marines looking to shut down this hatchery off over here. This is going to be some easy pickings, as the Marines are just going to walk in stim and walk back out. So a little bit of a loss there. It did buy a bit of time. Slivko needs to choose his next engagement very carefully, as we also see double Ghost Academies being established. That can only indicate one thing: nuclear launches will be detected. As the drones are now making their way over. Talk about just building very close to your opponent. Only one unset of untraversable terrain separates these drones from these SCVs. it looks as though Marines are now making their way forward once more. We can see that Slivko is still up on one base. The problem is going to be that we are now near even on supply. Slivko does have a fair amount of larvae saved up, so they're coming back in. We'll see Zerglings now trying to run in. Banelings, will they be able to get in a good splash? It looks like, yes, they will be able to take down some. However, with no fungal growth on those medevacs, they will be able to simply retreat. Zerglings now looking to back away once more. Planetary Fortress is already up and operational. Thorzane running and only getting gas off of these additional bases, as it is very, very gas intensive. Also, you can see Thorzane now should be able to strip mine pretty much any of these bases with a very, very minimal SCV composition, since he does have so many orbital commands. 7 orbital commands, 2 planetary fortresses. Banelings now running in. How much damage will be done? And down it goes in an instant. No more gas. The Banelings, are they going to do some splash damage? Yes, they will. Not quite sure who came out on top there, as a new command center, 2 new command centers now being placed down. Double planetary fortresses for double the fun. Broodlords now going to be dropping off the kids on the other end. Vikings are making their way over. Corruptors, oh, that's going to be some very, very bad hits. The Infestors now over here as well. Are they going to be able to get off some fungal growths? No, they are not. And this is all about just zone control now. So many Vikings, and more importantly, 2-2 Vikings, now soon to be 3-2 Vikings here. Marines now, oh, catching a group of units in transit. 1 queen goes down in addition to a corruptor. That's going to be some hard losses, and a small group of Marines may be the hero in this game. Evolution Chamber, it does get taken down. Meanwhile, a large engagement happening back over here, and a large group of Infestors now trying to make their way forward. Vikings unable to engage, as the Infestors are simply there. Marines now coming in for perhaps a little bit of a base race, but there is simply not enough DPS, as Ghosts are now coming in. Ghosts now coming in, getting off some easy shots. Infestors now without energy. Fungal growth, and are we going to see some, yes, Seeker missiles splashing around, taking down so many units. Thorzane looks to perhaps do the miracle and completely turn things around. Vikings finishing off the air army. No more energy on the Infestors. And wow, Thorzane comes out with a 50 supply advantage, as a group of Marines still engaging here. A group of well-trained Marines diving deep inside the base. Overlords now getting shot down as well, as the Infestors are trying to run away. Not gonna work when your opponent has Ravens. Vikings now in ground mode, and Slivko gives the GG after an amazing comeback from Thorzane. Let's take a look at the losses. The losses, 13,000 higher for Slivko over Thorzane. Thorzane seemed to be behind every step of the game up until that final engagement with these Ghosts getting off the EMP shockwaves. Let's go ahead and let's take a look at that exactly. That was a very, very well, I believe, just a well-timed, well-executed attack there that completely caught Slivko out of off guard and out of position. I could have sworn with double Ghost perhaps we were gonna see a lot of just nuclear launches, but we didn't see exactly that. Here comes in the dive now, as the Broodlings look to just absolutely destroy everything. Ravens are now going to arrive here, and Infested Terrans doing the great job. The Vikings are now being pushed back away here, but in comes a group of Ghosts, and you're going to see that EMP shockwave just completely remove almost all of the energy on those Infestors. Once all the energy is gone, the Vikings can engage pretty much without any problem whatsoever, since they don't have to worry about Infested Terrans or fungal growths. After that, it was just a matter of cleaning up for Thorzane. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this game.